I'm sorry. I have some terrible news for all of you. The main character is dead. But it's only the first episode! Hey, what's up, guys? It's the Game Manic Kid, and I am here to bring you another seasonal anime review, episode 1 review of, I'm gonna mispronounce this like a motherfucker, so this is gonna be hard to do every week. Kore wa Zombie Desu Ka. I'm gonna actually have to look at the title when I do this because it's so fucking complicated. Obviously, you can see I'm a little tripping on acid anyway, but here we go! Review time! Woo! So, I guess, as far as the first episode goes, it was... I had to say, if anything, this is a very interesting and funny-ass show, just off the first episode. It's about on the same ridiculousness as Beelzebub, but it's even crazier than that. Alright, so let me explain. The main character's name is like Aikawa Ayumu. Okay, so the main character is Aikawa Ayumu. Pretty much the episode kind of starts out with, you know, they're going through a basic bullshit. It's just like, I'm a normal high school kid. I like the, I hope these peaceful days will never end, but the thing about it is that these peaceful days are actually fake. And as he's going through this monologue, you see him go leave this, you see him leave his house, and that's when you get the first weird thing, because you see this random ass girl who is like in some type of samurai armor. And just to let you know who that is Elusiwood Hellsight. That's her name. She is a necromancer, but we'll get to that in a second. Anyways, that kind of hints that this is not going to be a very just straightforward, simple plot, obviously. He's going through that little monologue, talking about peaceful days and whatnot, and when he gets to the whole thing about everything is fake, but this world is fake, and the people are fake and shit like that, there are cats crossing the street, and the mama cat gets over, and the baby cat's about to get over. And the best way to put this is that the baby cat almost gets hit by a truck, but the boy's like, I'm gonna go save the cat, so he's already doing some honorable shit. He's like, alright, cool main character. And he gets hit by the car. I felt a Yu Yu Hakusho reference. I don't know if that was just me. With him getting hit by the car until what happens like five seconds before he actually gets hit by the car. He says it's alright because I'm a zombie. And then he gets hit by the car. And pretty much then he gets hit by the car. He flies in midair. The cat is saved. The cat is like freaking out. The baby cat's freaking out. The guy was like in front of him, sees him. He whistles over his head. His toupee flies up in midair. The dude goes through some trees, loses his clothes in the process of hitting these trees. And Aikawa ends up at the front door of his house. And then that's your introduction to the anime. Needless to say, this is going to be some crazy-ass plot. Anyways, so we go from that. He gets home, and I've already explained that Lucy Wood, and I mean, I'll just call her Hellsight. I'm calling her Hellsight because Lucy Wood, or Usil Wood, I guess is how you pronounce it. I'm going to just call it Hellsight. Miss Hellsight, is a necromancer. And apparently, the story with him being a zombie and her being a necromancer is that she's always been a necromancer. But he got murdered. And the only scene we see from that is that apparently he got stabbed from the back by someone with a sword. And through that, he's dead, and then she brought him back. So I guess it's thanks she's living with him. But for whatever reason, she doesn't talk. And we don't even know why she brought him back. It wasn't like the flashback they did to it just had him being stabbed. They didn't actually explain why, of all people, would she choose to bring him back as a zombie? Whatever. It's kind of funny, though. Now, Miss Hellside has kind of a fucked up attitude just from the way she acts, because she writes shit down, but what she writes is something you would expect a typical annoying character to do, and she doesn't even look like, she looks like the quiet character, which ironically she is, because she didn't talk. I don't know why she didn't talk. She just writes down everything she said. She's like, what'd you do today? I slept, and all this other crap. And she holds up the little paper saying I'm hungry and I want something to eat and cook me and shit. And it's like, yeah. And he's like, alright, fine, I'll cook you some food. I mean, he brought her back to life, so I don't have an issue with her. She can't be a bad person. Whatever. And then they go through that, and pretty much the whole point of him being resurrected as a zombie. He's taking this as a chance to find his murderer. So he wanders around town and shit, trying to find his quote-unquote murderer. Who's apparently a serial killer who's still killing people, mind you. It wasn't just him. This person's a serial killer. And I have a bet of who it is, but I'm not going to say anything until the episode comes up, if it comes up fairly early or whatever. And he pretty much wanders around looking for, like, the murderer. He's looking for the murderer to get quote-unquote killed so he can catch them. He finds himself very at peace in cemeteries where he can, you know, he's a zombie. He's a fucking zombie. I expect him to be at peace in cemeteries. He's actually like drinking a juice box in a cemetery, like 2 o'clock in the morning. It's just like, alright then, we got fucking zombies and shit. That's how we're gonna do this. Anyways, so he's chilling in the cemetery. He looks over. This fucking bear creature in a fucking Japanese high school student's outfit is just like comes out and like slashes him. And I don't mean like slashes him where like he cuts him out. I mean like slashes him where he like stabs him with all his claws and his body's on the claws and shit like this. There's a good representation, but I'm not about to go get a piece of bread and do that because that's retarded and I'm not dedicated enough. This is where you get introduced to the next character, and her name is Haruna, who apparently is something called a maso shoujo. And she's like a magical girl, and she gets points for killing these creatures that are called apparently Megalo and shit. And it's funny because she's annoying as hell. I have not found a female character in this anime so far that I actually like completely. But this chick definitely ain't gonna be it. Her first entrance is her in a panty shot. And like talking dumb shit saying, damn, I'm gonna lose points because someone got killed. He's like, well actually, she's like, shh, hush, just die in peace and I'll avenge you. And shit like that. And your spirit can rest easy and shit like that. And so he's like, she's like Maso Shoujo, and it's like Maso Shoujo kick or some shit. And what the kick is that she jumps up in midair, you see a panty shot, she's like Maso Shoujo kick. And what she actually does, she takes a chainsaw and cuts him in half, cuts Aikawa in half and the damn bear. And he's like, that's not a kick. So pretty much she cuts him in half and kills the bear, and he's like, don't worry, you can now rest easy, I have killed the such and such. He's like, you know, I'm not. And she freaks out. She's like, what the fuck are you? He was like, oh, I'm a zombie. He's like, what the fuck are you? Oh, I'm a Maso Shoujo, which I have no fuck. Me and the main character were synced on this because we were just like, we have no fucking idea what a Maso Shoujo is. No fucking idea. Like, literally. And he's just like, oh, I'm a zombie. It's like, oh, well, I guess I should wipe your memories clean using my magic, because she's a magical girl, obviously, carrying magical chainsaws and doing quote-unquote kicks when it really is her throwing a chainsaw down and killing people. And these megalos, which I guess these are evil demons kind of creatures, I guess. And pretty much from that point, she tried. Then it turns into a Bleach reference because she uses her magic to try to like erase his memories, and he ends up taking her magic. So, and apparently her magic is the ability of her having clothes, so she doesn't have clothes. I'm not 100% sure what the fuck that is, but I mean, she has a magical girl transformation that has something to do with her clothes. So I guess when you take her magic, she has no clothes. And pretty much what happens at that point is that she is naked, and apparently he has her magical power, and his lower half is not connected to his top half. So he says one of the funniest things in the episode. He's like, so can you help me get my lower half? He's like, what are you, some kind of pervert? No, you fucking cut me in half. Get my lower half, damn it. And she takes her back to her house. Well, actually, he goes back home because he got his lower half reattached. And she comes with him because it's like, well, you have my powers. I can't do anything. I'm sticking with you. Which seems like a weird reference to Bleach. Which I was like, alright, this is it's interesting. Like, the way the plot's unfolding in the first episode is fairly interesting. I'm about almost halfway through it. pretty much after that point, he now has a necromancer, a Maso Shoujo, which I'm just going to say is a magical girl, and a zombie are living in the same house. The necromancer doesn't talk. The Maso Shoujo was kind of an annoying bitch, like the necromancer, except she talks, and she's like typical annoying. And a zombie trying to find a serial killer. Right off that, that's an interesting plot, and that's only like halfway through the episode. Pretty much after that, what happens is that he goes to school the next day. He can't really do anything because he apparently you know how zombies can't stay out in the daylight, so he has to wait after school. And this is the other funny scene. A random dude in a trench coat comes in there like, I want you. And the first thing the kid's like, I was like, oh God, I knew there would be hell waiting for me after I became a zombie, but nothing like this, because he thought he was going to get raped. And then the Maso Shoujo Haruno shows up and is like, no, that's a Megalo, because they don't explain what a Megalo is until like that moment. And then the guy in the trench coat turns out to be this fucking lobster monster thing, lobster or crayfish or something around those lines. It's really random, and she tries to use her magical powers, and she tries to use it, and she becomes naked again. And she's like, well, since you have my powers, Aikawa, no! Then we get some violence. I almost forgot about the violence. This motherfucker's like, oh, you think you can beat me just because I'm a zombie? You do understand that humans have their normal limitations, but the advantage of being a zombie is I don't have those limitations, so I can use my full power. And he runs up on that motherfucker, and he punches him. He's like, 100%. He like lays him out with this like Gatling kind of shit. It's like 120%. Ah. And he's like, and he sends the fucker flying across the classroom. And I'm like, yes, we got violence. And he breaks his arm. Whereas this is where Haruno realizes that Aikawa is strong enough to kick his ass, but she can't kill him unless she uses he uses the Maso Shoujo kind of power. And pretty much at that point, she's like, well, you have my power, use it. So you're thinking this is going to be like typical Bleach shit where he becomes like a Soul Reaper or some shit like that, or becomes a Maso Shoujo. That is right, but it's in the exact same outfit that she was wearing. So it looks like some cross-dressing shit. This is probably one of the most disturbing things in my life. And what happens at this point is he like knocks him out of the classroom, which is like on the 3rd or 4th story, and they're in midair, and he uses her move, the kick, which isn't a kick, it's actually the damn, like you have to kill it with the chainsaw apparently. So he's using like the quote-unquote kick, which is literally him chainsawing a fuck out of a lobster / crayfish demon Megalo thing in the head and crushing it, creating a crater in the school courtyard where everyone sees him in a girl's outfit, saying she's like and they make the joke saying he's like a cosplayer and he's like a weird fucker. He's like, no! And that's really how the episode ends. That he is a zombie with magical powers who is quote-unquote a Maso Shoujo, who lives with a Maso Shoujo and a necromancer who brought him back to life after being killed by a serial killer. So he is now a zombie Maso Shoujo. And that's the first episode, people. That shit was so crazy. I gotta watch it. It's just too much shit. It's like so much random shit. You just gotta be like, I gotta watch this. Quote unquote, you gotta watch this. It's insane how much shit you go through. It's like, it's insane how much plot they give you within 30 minutes. And as I said, I will link the Crunchyroll link to you watching this online, and you can watch it there. Pokemon review will come when they fucking sub the episode. So for people who are asking me, I'm waiting for a sub pretty much. Because it's not on Crunchyroll, and I'm not waiting for a dub to come out in like fucking 6 months. I'm waiting, that's what we're waiting on there. But the link to watch it is down in the link below. This is definitely a rewatch. This shit's going on and on and on with me. I'm watching this. I got Beelzebub. I think I got my 2. I'm going to close the moderator module. Or either that, I'll open up like just random suggestions for things you guys think I should do. Like whether it be tutorial relating to partnership or some of the things I do in my videos or whatever. But that is all for this review of Kori wa Zombie Desu Ka. It's crazy. The fucking main character's dead at the beginning of the damn series. I'm liking this. Tell me what you guys think after watching the episode. Life's a game. Play to win. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.